what they were able to do is take what is ordinarily a very disjointed submission process that requires several different forms and follow-up and distill that into essentially a shortened form of 12 to 15 questions or potentially more if it's a more complicated risk, where you can go online and apply for insurance as simply as ordering a sandwich from Grubhub.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Welcome to another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here with Stephen Ritzler, who's the team lead of the Transportation and Logistics Department for CoverWallet. Hey, Stephen, how are you?
So great to be here, Andy. Thank you very much for the invite.
It's my pleasure. I'm looking forward to our conversation. Tell me a little bit about CoverWallet and what you do over there.
Absolutely. So at CoverWallet, we make it easy for entrepreneurs to understand, buy, and manage their insurance all online in minutes.
That sounds great. That's a nice, concise elevator pitch. Tell me a little bit about that. So what are some of the challenges that your customers have prior to meeting you? And then what's life look like after they start working with you?
Of course, for a first-time entrepreneur, commercial insurance can be a journey without a map. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of documents, people to talk to, government intersections that can be confusing, especially for transportation and logistics businesses who have so much federal compliance oversight. And what we do is we use the experience of our sales and account management staff to help educate the new entrepreneur into what they're getting into. So before they meet with us, it's chaos. And with any luck, after they meet with us, it's 1 + 1 = 2.
Great. Yeah, that's nice. The insurance space can be quite confusing, and sourcing the right solution also oftentimes can be confusing. In terms of the services that you provide, are you an independent broker of these services and helping them source the right solution, or are you an insurance company providing a direct solution as an insurance company to the customer?
That's such an awesome question, Andy. That's one of the biggest misconceptions or confusions that our customers have. So we are a broker. We're a digital commerce solution. We were acquired by Aon Commercial Risk in the beginning of the very beginning of 2020. So the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. And we use our partnerships with carriers who provide the primary first dollar coverage.
I see. So you're sitting on the same side of the table essentially as your customer, helping them figure out based on what their business needs are, what the right solution is and who the right provider is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's right. We are one team with the customer.
Very cool. And in the transportation and logistics sector of the market, who are some of the types of companies that you would work with? Give me not necessarily the names, but what's their profile? What do they do as a business?
As far as the motor carrier, like the trucker themselves?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is it truckers? Is it trucking companies? Is it railroads? Who's sort of the profile of your customer?
Sure. So right now, our core area of success in my department, transportation and logistics, are what they call new ventures. So businesses that are just starting within the first 5 years. And for the most part, they are United States-based trucking enterprises that haul general freight. They could haul it all over the country. They use all different types of vehicles, ranging from cargo vans, pickup trucks, box trucks, big rigs with 53-foot trailers, and even plow trucks and bucket trucks we can insure. But our core focus is on helping businesses get opened and growing with their motor carrier authority when they first get it issued.
I see. So yeah, that's a critical step in terms of compliance, I'm sure. And tell me a little bit about that. So What's the unique kind of challenge that somebody has? They've started their business. They now need to be insured. They probably, like you said, it's a chaotic and confusing process up front to source the right provider. When they connect with you, tell me a little bit about what that experience is like up front. How do you draw the details out of them? What are some of those details?
Awesome. Yeah. So the conversation starts with value. What do you need out of this? Who are you going to work for? What do your customers need you to have? And when we approach it from the perspective of what are you using the insurance for, it's really easy for us to get a nuanced understanding of the profile of the risk. And that helps us to write more comprehensive coverage and usually find a way to do it for a more appropriate price.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And helping them also source the right vendor as well, right? So, like you said, there's no map for this kind of stuff. So being able to put some options in front of them and helping them weigh out the pros and cons for each plan, I would imagine is part of your process.
It is, yeah, absolutely. And for brand new motor carrier businesses, there might not be a ton of options. So if there is only one or two carriers that are considering insuring you, it's critical that we present you in the best, lowest risk, reasonably light possible to that carrier so you can have a chance of being able to put fuel in your tank and afford to pay your premiums. And that can be a real challenge with today's fuel prices.
Right, absolutely. And tell me, how does your brand stand out from the competition?
Right now, CoverWallet, as far as its integration with Aon being the largest commercial risk broker, we are the preeminent, the largest insurance technology company currently in the United States in terms of the employees we have access to and the carrier partnerships that we work with. And so that I think is what makes us different, is we are standing on the shoulders of Aon, who is an industry giant, Titan even.
Yeah, makes sense. That's a really huge differentiator. And obviously nobody else can come close to that. How have you been growing the business through, you mentioned you were acquired right through COVID, right, in that period. How have you been growing the business, and what were some of the things that Aon, said, hey, these are the guys to partner with?
Yeah, so volume is the easiest way, more people, more business, right? But also we're looking always to go up market. So through our relationships with Aon and their brokerage team, we have some other insurance carriers that we're in talks with partnering that will allow us to write larger, more sophisticated trucking risks. Aon has a larger transportation practice that focuses right now on trucking enterprises with 200 plus trucks. Mm-hmm. And our group is seeking to fill the gap where right now we're focused basically on 1 to 15. There's an unserved market there between 15 and 200 trucks that we're looking to fill the gap in coverage for. The way we're going about that, we're using our current network of partnered clients to get into contact with these larger businesses so we can begin these talks and get them quoted. And we're also working really aggressively with some carriers that are new to the trucking space so that we can get some capacity to have them booked. And that's how we're building the plane while we're flying it.
Very cool. I always use that analogy. That's a great one. Yeah. And I love the idea that you guys are also focused on startups and companies that are, pioneering in the space too, because you never know where you're going to get your next big whale, that ends up becoming a huge company, and they're just starting out now. Tell me a little bit about, your prospecting process, and how do you source some of these new companies that are out there?
Quite a volume of our customers find us on Google. Mm-hmm. Due to our presence and some of our content, and also some of our advertising efforts, we seem to be relevant in a lot of the searches that would pertain to anything truck insurance related. So a fair amount of our new feet in the door find us that way. Yep. A lot of our customers come to us through existing word of mouth, though, from just doing good first. We're able to get a lot of traction that way.
That makes a lot of sense. And, that kind of touches on, yeah, we're a content marketing company, so I love when people are creating content to educate their customers. Tell me about some of the content that you guys create, and how that might help in your sales process.
Yeah, great. So we're just beginning to put out this content too. So they want to be educated about carrier compliance. They want to know about what our brokers and dispatchers going to need me to have in order for me to book loads and get work. And they want to know what insurance is required for a rental company to consider working with me. So on our site, we field answers to questions like those.
Yep, that makes sense. And tell me a little bit about, people love to hear the origin story of a company. How did a company start out and, fight their way to become number one? And you guys have become number one. So tell me a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, I'm honored that I get to tell the story. I'm deserving of little of the credit. The founders, Anaki Berenger and Rashmi Malgiri, started the company in 2015. They were fast friends from graduate school. I believe they went to MIT together. And there they began a few startup ventures. And they discovered in the process that applying for commercial insurance, especially for a digital business, is just a heck of a burden. And they thought to themselves, we can make this easier. The bar is not that high for us to make this a lot easier if we can consolidate the application process. And so what they were able to do is take what is ordinarily a very disjointed submission process that requires several different forms and follow-up, and distill that into essentially a shortened form of 12 to 15 questions, or potentially more if it's a more complicated risk, where you can go online and apply for insurance as simply as ordering a sandwich from Grubhub.
Love that. That's such a great application of technology, and the frame up of having a fragmented environment or a very complex application process and simplifying that all using technology is such a great profile for a technology company.
Absolutely. Yes,
yeah.
It's the user experience we were aiming to improve first.
I love that. It's such a great way to lead with value like that. I guess my last question for you is, what would you like to be celebrating a year from now?
A year from now, Andy, I would love to be able to brag about the names of the carriers that we've partnered with that are helping us write these larger trucking firms.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds like you got a big year of growth ahead of you in 2023, and wish you all the success. Thank you, Stephen. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Likewise. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you.